Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby.
They said, I said, you are delayed. No, just kidding. You're good.
Yay. We've had some technical issues.
So annoying.
So annoying.
And we only know just enough to be dangerous. AKA kind of fix the problem.
What we do is we turn it off and on again.
Just, okay, control, delete, restart, click.
Seems
click.
to work.
Yeah, it did. Okay. How are you doing? You lazy bum? You lazy unemployed bum?
Just got tinnitus in one ear, which is fun.
Oh no. Well, it's
It
from your
comes and
days in the
goes.
war.
Yeah. Yeah. All those explosives have just really damaged my eardrums.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, just been bumming around, you know. I haven't actually. I've actually been quite busy sorting stuff out. Potential new job. Got
For
a new
this podcast.
coaching gig. And I've been doing a chaperone course so I can chaperone children.
At dances where you say, leave enough room for Jesus.
Yep. Yeah, just, living my best life, man.
Excellent.
What
Speaking
you been doing?
of
Working?
Yes, except for right now because I wanted to chat with you a little bit for our podcast, which is what
Talking
everyone is
shit.
listening to right now. What is it called?
Talking shit with a Yank and a Brit. If you haven't already worked it out, I'm the Brit.
And I'm Kate the Yank.
Yay. Hi. Oh, we're both drinking tea.
Well, no, you know I'm drinking coffee.
Same difference.
I don't waste my time with tea.
Why? Tea's so good.
Because I need it to taste bitter so that I never forget how awful life is.
Matches your inner core.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, not a lot going on. Just busy with work and trying to get stuff ready because I'm going to be
Moving
going out
to
of
England.
town.
Oh.
Yes, I'm moving to England and also going out of town.
England is out of town, to be fair. So
That's true. That's true. That is a longer term process, of course.
Yeah.
But more immediately, I am going to be taking a girls' trip with my gals to Maine.
Ooh, road trip. Road trip?
We're flying, but yeah, sure. We'll call it. I'm flying the plane, so it's kind of like it's an air trip.
Air trip.
Yep.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I have a couple bones to pick with you, though.
Oh shit! Have I done something wrong?
Yes.
Oh,
But I'm willing to forgive you, depending on how this conversation goes.
Oh god. Okay, I'm nervous now. I've got anxiety.
So you remember last time we talked about the state fair and then kind of what a fair is in England versus a carnival. And I specifically said, yeah, we'd call that a carnival. And you're like, for us, carnivals are street parties. Well, I just learned recently about the Notting Hill Carnival, and I don't know why you didn't fucking tell me about this. In fact, I just was looking at an article that was published on the 19th of August about explaining Notting Hill Carnival to Americans. So I'm going to go ahead and need you to do that for
to be
me
honest,
and everyone
I
else.
just thought you knew about Notting Hill
Fuck
Carnival.
no, I didn't know they had a carnival. I know Notting Hill is like a place and a movie.
Well, it's nothing like the movie.
I mean, based on this article that referenced the streets being filled with pee, I gathered that.
Ooh, yum. To be honest, I've never been. I've just seen stuff about it online. But it looks like a riot. Not a bad riot, like a
fun
good time riot. And yeah, there's, what do they call them? Don't know what it is when we start recording. My brain just goes, "You don't know any words anymore.
You're gonna sound like a dummy."
Yep.
Describe what you're thinking, and I'll try to help you come up with
like
the word.
Moving vehicles with shit on top, and
Vans?
there's people in outfits.
Oh, parades, floats,
parades, floats. Yeah, floats. They have floats, and it's very like.
I think you can just say hippie woo woo.
No, it's not. It's like celebrating black
Weird.
culture.
Okay. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Actually, so now that I look at my little page I have up here, which is an article from vice.com, it does say that it is the annual street festival where one of the richest yet most divided districts in Europe dissolves into a feral open-air house party honoring the seismic influence of Afro-Caribbean culture on London, which
There you
sounds
go.
fun as hell.
Yeah, it looks fucking good. Everyone gets proper dressed up to the nines, sequins and bikinis and big headdresses, and there's music blaring everywhere. Looks like a good old time.
So can we make it like a bucket list thing to go sometime to
Yeah,
get? Okay, cool.
defo. When is
Uh,
it?
I so this article though, it starts off with Americans, no matter how many MCs, fashion Einsteins, or tech savants we send your way, you insist on stereotyping us all as either evil wizards or pig-chasing medieval oafs with accents like malfunctioning car stereos. Thanks to 100 years of cultural imperialism, us Brits grew up with an intimate understanding of the American national psyche. So it's a shame that your perception of us and our country appears to be based on the bad guys from Ace Ventura films.
Yeah.
And then it introduces it's not even your New Orleans Mardi Gras or famous hot dog eating competition that can lay a finger on the Notting Hill Carnival. And then so it kind of breaks it down into categories, sound systems. But then one category is toilets.
I can
And it
imagine that would
says
be a problem.
dubious punch, hot sauce, drugs, booze, cigs, and 500,000 stressed out people crammed into a few square miles on the hottest weekend of the year. As
Yep.
well as being a vital celebration of multicultural unity, etc., etc., Carnival is also a machine precision engineered to send you repeatedly sprinting for the Johns.
Yeah, just
And
Google Notting Hill Carnival and look at the pictures. It looks
I,
fucking mad.
well, the pictures on this article are something else too, but it looks fun, and I just don't know why you didn't introduce me to it last time because maybe, just maybe, I would have flown over.
Well, it's this weekend, so you've still got time. Cancel
Oh,
your
I thought
girls'
it already.
weekend.
Okay,
Come over.
done. I'm already
Starts
going
on
to be at the
Sunday,
airport.
10 a.m.
So, perfect.
Actually, when this airs, it would have been last weekend, but at the time of recording, it's
I
this weekend.
still could make it, is what
You
you're
still could
saying.
make it, yeah. For sure.
Are you available?
No, I've got a
Cancel
gig,
all your
but
plans.
I will actually, yeah. Why not? We've had our gig cancelled tomorrow
Oh.
because it's raining.
Oop. Forever?
I was like, well, let's play indoors. They were like, no, the football's on. Why the fuck have you booked a band then?
Football is an institution akin to the likes of
There's no one even good playing.
the Pope. Who's playing? I'll be the
Fucking
judge of
Brighton.
that. Oh, well,
I mean,
people
Brighton are
like
playing at 12:30. We were going to play at 2. We'll just go in
oh,
afterwards. But no, apparently they want to play all the games that day. Ridiculous. Why book a band? Stupid.
that is stupid. I'm sorry. Do you want to shame the venue publicly? No,
I
that's a no.
do,
You're
but I won't.
fair
But I'm
enough.
annoyed because we've got loads of people coming down for this gig. We've got a friend who's over from New Zealand who was coming.
Who? You
Silas's friend Jake.
uh, well, I think you just go in the parking lot and play anyway.
Yeah. And then Gemma had loads of people coming, our drummer, and they'd all like changed their work shifts and booked time off work to come. It's just ridiculous. It really pissed me off, actually. I'm really quite annoyed about it.
House show? Can you find
House
another
show?
venue? Like put a show on at your house.
I suppose we could do.
My stepbrother's band is currently trying to set up a tour where they perform at homes.
Really?
Yeah, the kickback. Just a little
That's
toot
quite
toot for
cool.
them. Yeah.
Love that idea. Yeah, maybe we should just have a party in the garden.
Otherwise, can you find another venue last minute?
We did try, but I don't know. There's apparently travellers in Brighton at the moment that are trashing pubs, so the pubs are closing early or something. I don't know.
God, it's as if Brighton's the only city you could perform in.
I know. But it is annoying because it's bank holiday weekend.
I was just going to ask.
And we had loads of offers from people wanting us to play. We've turned
Call
them
'em up.
down because we've had this gig in the diary for ages, and then they've just cancelled the day before. So, as you can probably tell, I'm rather riled up about it.
Call them up and say, we're available, folks.
Mm.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
But we got another one on Sunday, so that's
Okay.
fine.
Well, that's good. Well, the other bone I wanted to pick with you is...
yeah, all the bonus.
Exactly. I have a big boner right now for you. Why didn't you tell me about the runaway horses galloping through central London, blazing a path of mayhem and injuries in April of this year?
I don't know why I didn't bring that up, because I see stuff and immediately forget it, which is not great for someone who should be writing down content for a podcast. But yeah, there were some escaped horses. It was really sad. They had like blood all over them.
Well, this
and
picture,
stuff.
one of them has blood all over it. And it's like horrifying, but also like if it weren't for the blood, I'd be like, oh, look, they're having a great time.
They're just running around London.
Here, I'm going to send you the article so you can see the picture. But yeah, it seems like they're military horses, which would explain the blood. Got loose.
Who's shooting them?
I assume it's not the horse's blood.
I hope so.
Got loose in central London early Wednesday. This article came out on April 24th, 2024, galloping through rush hour crowds, smashing into vehicles and injuring several people. So I'm guessing it's, civilian blood, which take no prisoners, horse.
I can go for it.
They became loose during a routine exercise this morning. Doesn't sound that routine if you accidentally let a couple escape. But yeah, this is important news to me, and I just feel like you need to keep me up to date on any animal related or fun street party related news that goes on over there.
Sorry, from now on, I will do that. I've just been looking because I believe they got rehomed and they're now free.
Well, no, because they've gotten the taste of blood and freedom, so they can't go back to being military horses.
Yeah, they got put in like a rescue center, I think. And now they just gallop around fields and are happy. I may be wrong about that.
I think that's probably what the government wants you to think.
Probably, yeah. Big Brother's watching.
It's crazy. I mean, imagine just going to work and there's like a bunch of horses running in and out of traffic in London. I'd just be like, oh, okay, just another day.
I'd be like, have we stepped back in time? Have we entered a portal?
Yep. That's it. I forgive you because I appreciate your responses. And moving forward, you will do better. And I will hold you to that.
This is a note to myself. Do better.
Do better. Speaking of doing better, I do want to just touch upon something that pissed me off recently. The Democratic National Convention was over the last few days. Yesterday was the last day. And our Governor Walz, who we've talked about, he had his speech on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he, I think I'm feeling a nice type of way about him, probably misguidedly so. If I did a little digging, maybe I wouldn't. But his speech was good. And like the shots of him and his family, he's got 2 kids, and he's married. Those were so sweet because they were so emotional and like proud. And his son, Gus, like was just observedly emotional, and it was really touching. And then of course the internet shit all over him because he was crying and
saw
emotional.
Something about that today.
And it's like, okay, regardless of whether or not he's got any sort of, neurodivergency or needs or whatever, because that is a factor. But regardless, like fucking be nice to kids. And also who cares if someone's emotional and demonstrates?
You're allowed to be emotional.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a boy.
Yes. So that really, really upset me. But it was, when I saw it, I was just like, oh, like that was my favorite part.
So cute. I was going to ask you about these conventions actually, because like, who the fuck goes to them?
I think that this one, was an outlier. But okay, so again, I'm going to explain this poorly and probably at least partially incorrectly.
Yep.
The Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention are the conventions that basically firmly kind of identify a candidate to run for president, right?
Right.
For many years, I think particularly this year, there was already a presumptive nominee candidate, right? Trump, for example, and then they had their national convention in Wisconsin a couple weeks ago, and apparently, because everyone is in the closet in the Republican National Party, Grinder broke. And same with Kamala. She was the presumptive nominee, but we still had it. And basically, the delegates from each state get picked to go and submit a vote to make this person the candidate.
Oh, so it's like officiating it.
Yes. And, I think in years past, when there's a couple different possibilities, they go and make their case, and different people from different states vote who they want, and then whoever has the most becomes the candidate. It was kind of, there was no one else really trying, but also it was just kind of a formality, I think, for both people. But they also really tried to make it a spectacle this year, and I think they were successful. I wasn't going to watch it. I did watch some. I was very upset and disheartened about the lack of representation for what's going on in Palestine, and that the delegates who were uncommitted and basically protesting or wanting a ceasefire in Palestine were locked out of the convention, even though they legitimately should have been involved in there, and also they probably should have had someone speak about it. And it was just nope. The only reason I knew what was happening is because they were posting on X, but for all you knew watching it, you wouldn't know that there was a lot of shit going on outside of the arena. And so I think that that's pretty fucked up, and I have a lot of feelings about it that I don't know how to reconcile right now. Well, I know how to reconcile them, but I just I'm feeling torn because it feels like I don't really have a choice either way. But there are a lot of people who are in the uncommitted movement who are like, well, we just won't vote then, or maybe we'll vote for Trump to send a message, which I get. And that's the problem with our two-party system.
Yep.
But I'm sorry. I'm opposed to killing babies and innocent people and genocide. I am. That might be.
It's a weird view to have, but I support it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be an unpopular opinion, and I get the whole saying this publicly. I realize could result in some people feeling a type of way about it. I just I'm not taking a position on the land issue and the conflict that's been going on in generations over with Israel and Palestine, but I do think it's wrong. It's reprehensible. It's disgusting that all these children and people who are just trying to live are being blown up and murdered. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, fucking damn right. It's absolutely horrendous. I'm just surprised that well, I'm not surprised. I think if it was a white country, then something would have been done. Having said that, Ukraine, that's still happening.
There's lots of conversations and mention of Ukraine at the DNC, but also technically Israel and Palestine. People don't consider them this way, but arguably are considered
white. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Something needs to be fucking done, doesn't it? I read that America is supplying a lot of weapons.
Oh no, a lot of what's happening right now is a direct result of the current administration. The fact that they haven't tried to do any. Yeah, I know.
That's not good.
That is one of the reasons why I was already struggling with when Biden, because it was he first and foremost, cognitive ability and age and stuff capacity aside, I have a lot of really strong negative feelings about some of the things that Biden and his administration have done during his presidency that made it real hard. But Kamala is part of that. So
yeah. Well, hopefully things will change with.
So I'm back to feeling very pessimistic.
You've done a U-turn again.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
that's my soapbox.
Move to Finland.
Yep.
Great. Oh, wow. Well, I guess kind of related. I found this article, which is basically loads of people sharing their interactions with people they had that made them realise that that person was really dangerous.
Ooh.
I thought we could share them with the group and share our feelings on what we think.
This is now becoming a support group for encounters of the dangerous kind.
Yeah. Okay, this
I'm
was
Kate, and
fucking
I
weird.
met Ted Bundy.
He was very charming and good looking.
Except, I don't know if that's actually true. I think that was kind of something that was really exaggerated by media and stuff just because of the time, and he was a white man who wasn't like a troll.
Yeah,
But I
he didn't
actually
look
think,
like a typical
yeah,
serial killer. He just looked
yeah,
like a normal guy, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so first one is I, 20 female, was dating this dude for a few months and we were getting on really well. Then we both ended up having to move for our jobs at around the same time. He wanted to try long distance, so we did.
The end.
Sorry, someone's texting me. It's just ruined my flow.
Yeah, he sounds real dangerous, gal. Get
Yeah,
out.
man. Get out of that one. Okay, we called most days and watched movies together during our time off. The time zone messed it up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. Out the blue, one day he just said he didn't want to be together. I'm like, wow, okay, a little blindsided, but sure. So I just started going about normal life again and hanging out with friends. The normal post-relationship stuff. After about a month, he begs, like absolutely begs, to get back together.
Hot.
It was movie type stuff, sending flowers to me at work, sending handwritten cards almost daily across thousands of miles, and even buying me a ticket to fly out to see him. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll go, see what he has to say. In the worst case scenario, I'll just fly home. So I got a ticket for 2 days after because I just figured I could head out if he were being a dick. He picked me up from the airport and acted basically how he used to. He told me he missed me, regretted it as soon as it happened, and it was the biggest mistake of his life. The usual. We've all had that.
Every day.
Every day. So we stayed with his family because he's like, oh, please don't get a hotel. I feel really bad about the whole month. Just stay with us. And I thought, hey, a free room. So everything was completely fine for the first few days, and I then got this alert on my phone. It was a hurricane warning saying that they were pushing my flight to 4 days later. I'm like, crap, I need to get back to work. I only took three days off. When he got back to the house from work, I told him about it, and he was like, oh, I know, we already started boarding up the windows. I was a little freaked out, but not too much, because I guess that's normal for big hurricanes.
Yes.
So the next morning, he shook me, woke me up, and told me to go into the living room. I was like, okay. When I do, it's him, his 2 brothers, his sister, his mum, and his dad. People I have only met in this one instance, and he has a binder. They sit me down, and each of them reads a passage from the binder of why we shouldn't be together and why I need to move on. And he broke up with me in his parents' house in front of his siblings in the middle of a hurricane power outage. Then, because of the hurricane, I was stuck there for 4 more days with them. Probably not the most psychopathic person I've met, but this story still is so strange to me that I had to share it. WTF?
I feel like I've know the word gobsmacked, but never felt it applied. But I am right now.
Has
because,
your gob been smacked?
Yeah, like he initiated trying to get back together with her.
Yeah.
And so, like, was this planned? Like, I'm gonna initiate and then bring her out so I can do, like, what the fuck?
So, like, was he telling his family that she was like obsessed with him and like flew out there to see him and beg for him back. Like, how did that even come around?
I know. And like, help me read from this binder. I thought you were going to say they were reading passages from the Bible.
That would have been equally as weird.
Yeah. Ugh, that sucks. I would have been like, I'm going to just go sit in my room until I can leave. Thanks.
Yeah. Cheers. I'm going to lock myself in the bathroom for the next 4
Maybe
days.
I would have actually maybe tried to get a hotel.
Yeah. But I guess if there is like an actual hurricane on, you don't really want to go outside, do you?
Well, yeah, I'm sure she probably would have, unless it was like literally the eye of the hurricane at that moment.
And like, did he wait until the hurricane started to like initiate this?
That's what I thought. Like, he intentionally invited her out during when he knew a hurricane was coming and to keep her there. But then I was completely 180 when it was like they all sat down and read passages about why she should move on. I was like, I thought it was going to be like trapped here and you have to get married, or here we're going to convert you to basically some weird TikTok dance cult religion.
We've converted our basement. You live there now.
Yep. You're going to be our maid. Anyway.
Shit. Okay, here's another one. I was casually dating a guy. Hold on.
Oh, take a sippy sip.
I was casually dating a guy for roughly 5 months. This weirds me out a bit. Like, casually dating for 5 months. 5 months is quite a long period of time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is where I guess I have my lack of experience in just like kind of the dating world, and whether that is like, do you see other people or is it just like nothing super serious? But
yeah, I suppose they could have both agreed that like we're just bumping uglies.
Yeah, I guess that could be just a euphemism. I was fucking a guy for 5 months.
Yeah, fair. Okay, I was casually dating a guy for roughly 5 months. I moved into a new apartment and I'd sent pictures of the interior before I moved. He went on a trip to Scotland and got upset that I wasn't answering FaceTime in the middle of the night.
Okay.
I decided I wasn't interested in pursuing anything further because of his persistent pestering and insecurities.
Fair enough.
I had moved in and was working on unpacking when suddenly I got a knock at the door.
No.
He found where I was living with just a picture of the hardwood floors and some windows. I don't have the location for my photos turned on, so there's no way he could have found it from something simple. He saw absolutely nothing creepy about it and proceeded to push the door and beg me to let him inside. I promptly shut and locked the door, then made sure he heard my shotgun cock. He left, and I haven't heard from him since, thankfully.
I wonder if the pictures she sent were from like a listing and he just did a reverse image search.
Yeah, probably. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Weird, yeah. Oh, that is creepy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one's good. So I was chatting with a guy in a pub. He seemed like a normal, nice dude, and we got on really well. At some point in the conversation, he casually mentions that he's not long out of jail for torturing a guy.
Hot.
And in brackets, he never said torturing. He said what it was that he did to him.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I just got out of jail for pulling a guy's fingernails out, waterboarding him, and then basically drawing and quartering him. But I didn't kill him.
No biggie. Yeah, I didn't kill him, so I don't know why they sent me to prison. He slipped it in the conversation so casually as if he was just telling me about running to the shop for a pint of milk. Never saw it coming. I asked around another day and confirmed he wasn't full of shit. So, turns out he was a torturer.
Okay, but what if she asked around and people are like, oh yeah, Tommy says that. It's not true. He just likes to make himself sound tough. Would that be worse?
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
Or would she be like, oh, okay, he just lies about torturing someone and going to jail for it.
Up like that.
So now I want to date him.
Yeah, that's just as weird, isn't it?
But
moral of the story, don't torture people. Don't lie about torturing people. Both is weird.
And if you meet someone who does either, red flag, run away. Run fast away.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'll do one more. I was walking my dog down a main road on leash, and a lady was walking her dog off leash, already annoyed. Her dog stopped on the road, causing cars to stop. She had no control of it. Her dog lunged for my dog, and I asked her to put her dog on the leash. She said that she would stomp on my dog's head and let her dog kill mine. I knew it wasn't even worth arguing with her, so I carried on my walk. She then set her house on fire 2 weeks later with her children inside.
Oh my God.
Luckily, they were okay. But yeah,
Good.
Madness. Sorry. Yes, I made a statement. Yes, she's currently in prison, was released after the arson, and then rearrested for further crimes. And her children are aged 4 to 7. The dog is also okay.
Oh, happy ending, but yeah, what the fuck? And I think, that just goes to show that people who are cruel to animals are a red flag.
Massive red flag.
I kind of want you to
animals.
do another.
Okay, I've got one.
One more.
I went on a date and she casually dropped how she killed her brother's hamster with perfume as a kid because she was mad at him, like it was just some quirky little story to laugh about. Needless to say, I started looking for an exit strategy at that point.
I feel like this is a really well balanced. We have a couple guys, a couple girls, but what the fuck? The women are the ones who are trying to kill animals and their kids.
I know.
Like,
What's wrong with these bitches?
okay. Fuck. Yeah.
Actually, I just want to do this one as well.
Okay.
I'll read it and then I'll say. So this one, it was an Uber driver. My wife and I took an Uber down to the bars one weekend. Once he picked us up, I could tell easily that he was on something. While we were crossing a bridge on the interstate, about halfway to our destination, he said, "Isn't it crazy that I could swerve off the road and just kill us all right now?"
Oh my God. Yeah, man. So crazy. Crazier if you don't do it, though.
But, we've all had intrusive thoughts where
Absolutely.
you're like, man, I could just slam into that car.
Yeah,
I could
absolutely.
do that.
Yep. Oh boy, you don't vocalize that when you're an Uber driver.
No,
You have strangers
don't say it out loud.
No, it's gonna fuck up your ratings.
Exactly. The guy said that he reported him to Uber so that no one would ever get in a car with him again, which is fair.
Not only did he say that, which is scary, but he was clearly on something. I wonder if he was like gurning.
Or just wide-eyed and scatty.
Or just literally shooting up heroin in the front seat. Needle, tourniquet still sticking
crack pipe,
Yeah. Oh boy. Oofed. I mean, it is, I guess with taxi drivers, that it's always kind of been true, but I guess that's like with the companies, so you maybe feel safer, but Ubers too. I was just gonna say, it is mad that we like basically order cars to come to our house and we get in with complete strangers and all of that, but
there's been so many instances of girls getting attacked and stuff.
Or like I've read stories where it's like my Uber driver is going the opposite direction and not like I'm saying that, and they're just ignoring me, and I've been in this car for an hour now. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I like the features that have been made where you can send someone your location and when you're supposed to arrive and stuff, but that doesn't help me now.
No, I'm still gonna get murdered.
At least they'll know where to find your body.
That's true, yeah. They still have my exact location, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't, aside from what I've already shared about just kind of horrible dating experiences and relationships, I don't think I've met anyone dangerous, but I did have to sit next to in court a man who murdered his child's mother while the young child was in the back seat, and we terminated his parental rights, obviously, and I had to sit next to him at court. That sucked.
Grim.
Yeah.
I just watched the new thing on Netflix about the Lacey Peterson case.
Did they touch upon the fact that now there's reason to think he might not have done it?
Not really, no. I mean, he's claimed his innocence the whole time.
DNA evidence that recently came out, but I don't remember seeing the result of that.
Really? Because apparently there is another documentary from his perspective on, is it Paramount or something like that? which I haven't watched yet. But I mean, from watching that documentary, like, it's fucking obvious he did it, quite frankly. Like,
I think the
I can't
innocence
see any evidence
I think
apart
that
from the fact that there wasn't any physical evidence to tie him to it,
Mhm.
but all the circumstantial evidence just screams volumes.
The affair and the
Like,
money and stuff, yeah.
yeah, and just like he bought a boat on the day he told his mistress that his wife had gone,
Mhm.
and then her body washed up fucking like 100 meters from where he said he went fishing that day. He'd never been fishing before. He had like a tarp in the back of his car, and yeah, just loads of shit. It's just like, yeah, mate, you did it. Come on.
Well, supposedly the Innocence Project is working on his case, which
Really?
is a nonprofit that basically takes cases
Yeah.
and looks into exonerate like, so, before DNA evidence was a thing, all those people who were wrongfully convicted,
Mm,
they've done a lot of that. Like, I don't think the Innocence Project is necessarily doing, like, the making a murder guys, but there are people obviously working on that too, and maybe it started
mm.
there. But, I'm I feel like if they're actually looking into his case,
Then there
then
must be something then.
or they think it's worth investigating. I mean, I think they've probably had instances where they do investigate and then either it
And then
confirms it or
drop
they
it.
can't make any,
Yeah.
like, it's not conclusive enough.
Mm.
But yeah,
Interesting.
I guess there's usually, even if there's like, it's kind of like if it walks like a duck, it smells like a duck. And there is a reason why they say it's typically the husband. But
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's it looked pretty straight to be, but you never know. Stranger things have
Hey,
happened.
we are happy to acknowledge if we're wrong, if that happens. But
But there were like things as well. Like I particularly not enjoy, but I like watching how they react. And he at no point looked like a grieving husband whose wife had gone missing. He did TV interviews to try
mhm,
and clear his name in the media because the media were accusing him before he even got arrested and stuff.
yeah.
Um, and psychopaths or sociopaths have this thing called like micro expressions. So they'll be telling us, it can be a really sad story. He's talking about his missing wife, and you'll just see him slightly smile, and it's just that tiny little micro expression that indicates that they know they're getting away with it or think they're getting away with it. And he did that a lot. And obviously, that's not hard evidence, and I'm no expert, but I think I'm quite good at reading people, and that's what I got from him. He didn't seem that fucking upset to me.
Yeah. It can't just be about that because I think there's also plenty of research and anecdotes that show when the opposite was true, people judged based on like the kind of weird sounding 911 phone call or someone's
Mm.
interview or,
Hmm.
with the police where ultimately they didn't do it or something like that. Because I don't necessarily know how I would react if something horrible happened to me and I had to make a call. Like, would I be hysterical? Would I be too hysterical? Would I be not
Mm.
hysterical enough? Would I be like basically in a state of shock, so I
Yeah.
think I agree with you that they're like that is always people look at that and they're like, what the fuck, you don't seem like you're worried about your missing wife, pregnant
Mm.
wife. But also because people, when they experience trauma, do things so differently, it
Uh,
just can't be based on that, I
no,
guess.
it's not a science.
Yeah.
Well, it is a science, but it's not
But there is
usefully
something
taught.
to be said about our intuition. One of the things that in the TED Talk that I went to that I talked about last time was kind of using it's called the two-eyed method, which is rooted in Native American kind of spiritualism and culture, where it's like you have your one eye, which is kind of looking towards data, scientific evidence-based, like information, and then the other
Hmm.
eye is looking kind of relying on intuition, gut, experience, things that you can't articulate in the same way as you can science, but like
Hmm.
you just know it. And there was something like the person talked about nurses who could identify someone was coding before it happened, even if they couldn't articulate how they
Really?
knew. And that was just
Mm.
based on their experience, intuition, gut,
Yeah.
and yeah. So,
Interesting.
mhm,
Mm. Yep. There's a lot to be said about our gut feelings and intuition.
mhm.
It's usually always right.
Except for the girl who needed the blowjob wig.
Except for her. She ignored all. her intuition that day.
You know, or just was like, oh, that's weird. Oh, well.
Well.
Well, should we do an Am I the Asshole?
Yeah. So I'm assuming you've heard of the trad wife thing that's trending on Twitter and
In life.
TikTok and stuff now.
I have, but explain to me like I'm 5 anyway.
So it's basically women wanting to return to the traditional gender roles and be a stay-at-home wife, have her husband provide everything for her, and live but they also want to live in like luxury and have a really lovely time.
I know you say stay-at-home wife and not stay-at-home mom, in which case then if I could be a kept woman, I would totally be.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
I wouldn't be probably traditional, but if I could do whatever the hell I wanted and not have to work and not have to worry about money, for whatever,
you do have to clean the house, make sure food's on the table at the end of the day.
Well, then no, that's not for me.
Okay.
I could get takeout and hire a cleaner.
Okay, so here's this woman's story of
trad wifedom.
Sort of, yeah. So she says, I'm a woman in my late 50s, married to my husband, who's in his early 60s. We've been married for 30 odd years, and I have fulfilled the role of, in quotes, traditional wife for much of our marriage. I left paid work soon into our marriage. My husband is very successful in his business and we live comfortably. All our children are adults now. My husband built his business from the ground up, and I was instrumental to the early success of it. Which set it up
as old as time.
Which set it up to what it is today. Now, we were having lunch with our children when my son mentioned that his wife didn't want to be a trad wife and do what I did to raise the kids. She raised concerns about how vulnerable a position it is and that she doesn't want to depend solely on him for money. He wanted me to talk to her and convince her by telling her how it worked out for me. I said I understood where she was coming from, and being a housewife is incredibly risky and vulnerable, especially if he leaves her and she's been out of the labour force for a while. He countered that it had worked for his father and me because I trusted him as my husband to provide for me, and why couldn't his wife do the same? I told him that I have a meticulous record of all contributions that I have ever made to the family business, recently digitised with the help of my daughter, so that if the worst ever was to happen, I wouldn't be relying on the mercy of a man to feed myself. I told him that I have made many contingency plans over the years to minimise the risk of being a housewife and compensate for my lack of pension and benefits that I'd had I not left the labour force. This angered my son and husband, and both said that it showed lack of trust, and my husband especially feels like I've had one foot out the door our entire marriage, and that my little escape plan included plans to shaft him of his business. I told him that the fact that he refers to it as his business rather than ours is precisely why I kept those records and why I won't be telling my daughter-in-law to do what she doesn't want to do. Am I the arsehole?
Nope. Okay. This first and foremost reminds me of a fact pattern that I use in a training I teach where a stay-at-home mom and a dad are divorcing, and the dad has a business that she helped keep running for free, like did a lot of stuff for, and feels entitled to something from it because of that. And the husband is very resistant to that. I mean, we have something called alimony or spousal support here. And the fact that, first and foremost, the son saying that and being like, I was waiting for her to be like, well, your father and I's relationship is like different than yours, and she's different than me, and I don't know, she probably has her reasons, and whatever it is, they're like, if it's legitimate, you guys need to have a conversation about it. It might not be about lack of trust or something like that, but the fact that this smart woman did that, this mother, and the way her son and husband reacted is, to me, this to basically make it seem like it's lack of trust, trying to shaft one foot out, like that is like this really subtle form of coercive control and gaslighting that it is all too common and really, I think, kind of continues to uphold the patriarchy. And really, her husband should be kind of glad, even if they're not on the precipice of divorce, because that would mean he wouldn't need to have to pay her alimony, or at least there could be an agreed upon amount. That if she hadn't done that, like, it could end up being a lot more. And the fact that she kind of was making sure, for whatever reason, what if he died before her? And since he owns his own business, like, it's not like he has a pension necessarily that she would automatically get because he works for a government or as a police officer. And so, like, that is actually just smart and probably what a lot of attorneys, whether they represent a husband or a wife in that scenario, would recommend people do. Even if divorce, like, no one is thinking about it in terms of like, oh, you're going to get divorced, so just be prepared. But there's a reason why we have retirement plans and make wills for the worst case scenario.
Exactly. She's just protecting herself.
Ugh,
Never know
no,
what can happen.
not the asshole. I think that's so ridiculous that she would even have to ask that question.
So this person replied, I mean, it's pretty much that across the board. You know what I mean?
Good.
This person said, not the asshole. That's legal savviness right there. What do men obtain from getting their wives to throw their financial security into the wind? Barring separation and divorce, what happens to the wife if the husband unexpectedly dies? Does she throw herself in a fire, end up living on the streets because her husband provided and now there is no provider and she has no savings, no plan? What is this modern obsession with trad wives in society where it takes 2 salaries to care for a family? The son is an asshole for not respecting his fiancée/wife's wishes. What if she wanted him to be the house husband? What gives him the right to demand of her what she won't give? Husband is an asshole for not understanding that protecting yourself from very possible hardships that have very practical ramifications has nothing to do with not trusting him. It has to do with self-preservation.
Amen.
Amen.
It does just feel like the whole intention is to just limit their wives' opportunities to leave them, like, make it harder. Like, trad wife isn't, or at least from the male perspective, or at least these two men's perspectives, isn't about like, this is our partnership, this is what I do, this is what you do, we're equal contributors, we both have important jobs, like, I will make sure that we'll treat it like a job. Like, this would be truly the way to go, is treat it like an equal job where she also has an account that automatically filters money from his paycheck into hers, puts it into a retirement, like that, because then it's treated like a job, and that's what they say it's supposed to be. And so, like, the fact that they can't do it, just like seemed like, no, we do this because I want to make sure that you stay with me forever and you're at my mercy, which is controlling.
Yeah, exactly. And loads of people were sharing their cautionary tales as well. So this person put, I'm a woman. I trusted my ex. I raised our children as a stay-at-home mother. After 25 years of struggling under financial control, we divorced. My library skills are outdated. My work history is no longer relevant, and I'm financially struggling. I had the house, the retirement account, the cars, and now I've got nothing. OP, you're not the asshole, you're savvy. To document. Your son needs to get his head out of the sand and support his wife in her career.
And the fact that her daughter helped her digitize things and kind of organize things to keep it updated and modern and like accessible tells me that we've got 2 kids who are who basically idolize or like align with their balloons. That hasn't happened in a while. Idolize or align with their same gendered parent, and like our like patriarchy son, feminist daughter. And so I just think that's interesting too, and I think all the more reason why, like, how you role model as a parent is really important.
That's it. And
So
I think these young idolizers of being a trad wife, I think, are probably quite naive to.
well, it's like what I said, "Oh, I don't have to do anything?"
Yeah, like that's it. Like that's what you're thinking. Oh, great. I don't have to work. I can just stay at home and make some dinner. You're not thinking of the long term. Like a lot of relationships don't work these days. And what the fuck are you going to do if you don't have an agreement in writing that he's going to give you a certain amount of money if you do divorce? You're fucked.
In fact, it'd be really smart for anybody who's considering that sort of arrangement that there actually be a prenup where basically all the arrangement is highlighted and it's enforceable upon divorce,
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be a prenup about, like, if you cheat or don't bear me a son, like, you don't get this. It's just, this is the arrangement. This is what this will look like. This person commits to this. This person commits to this. And, upon separation, this is how assets will be divided and how, like, kind of what each person will take away from the partnership, assuming the contract is followed.
Yep.
Which makes it really less romantic and sexy. But hey, like, when you get divorced, the romance and sexiness is gone anyways.
Oh, exactly, yeah. So, no, we are agreed, not the arsehole. I think you did the right thing there. And someone else made the point of, as well, like, if he's so upset, where is it?
My wife.
My wife.
How did I get the balloons to go? I was just like wildly gesticulating as I do, and it was like, party.
Party.
Can I get that thumbs up?
Great. Celebrate.
Fireworks!
How is this happening?
I don't know.
Celebrate. Celebrate.
Party.
It's not working now.
Fireworks. Oh, okay. Well.
So this person said, not the arsehole. They've never had to think about life this way, so they have no idea what really goes on. Why aren't you co-owner of the business?
No shit.
If he really thinks that you were part of it, then why wouldn't have he had made that happen?
Well, he doesn't, obviously.
Yeah.
He said it was my business. You're trying to screw me. You have one foot out the door.
But she chose to stay as well. Like, she could leave.
It doesn't sound like she necessarily wants to, but she also just knew, like, that was a possibility, among other things, that she would... What are you looking at?
So there's a magpie and a jay having a fight outside.
Oh, what do you think they're fighting about?
I don't know. The apples on the tree.
Fair enough. Well, anyway.
Sorry, I got distracted by nature. It's kind of past my head.
I saw a weird-ass woodpecker the other day. I didn't know what it was, and someone was like, that's a woodpecker. And I'm like, woodpeckers look like that?
What color was it?
I'll show you. It had like a red head of hair, and then it was kind of like cow spotted.
Ooh. That's
maybe not cow spotted, but it definitely looked like a punk rocker. Look, it's got like a red mohawk and then like shaved black feathers down its back of its neck, and
awesome.
Then it's as big as like a fucking pheasant.
It is big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, everyone come look at this bird.
It's huge.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it. Yes, we commented on it being Roadrunner-esque. Anyway, I gotta get back to work.
Okay, you do that. I am not going to work.
Perfect. I hope if you throw a house show,
but without the husband,
you're tradwifing yourself.
Yeah.
Love that for you. I hope you have a house show or do something fun with the people coming down, and I hope the show on Sunday goes well. If you want to toot that or plug that show, go ahead.
Boop. We're playing at it'll be too late. It's already happened when this comes out.
Wait, is it the one in Cuckfield?
Yes.
Have fun in Cuckfield.
I did have fun. It was great.
I hope
fun in Maine.
Thanks. I did have fun in Maine.
Good.
But because of that, folks, might either have a late or skip an episode next. Wait, no, I won't, because this is what it is. So never mind.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Don't worry. Time is weird. It's a conception that we've made up. So
yeah, it is. It's a social construct. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to see you.
And you. Take care.
Bye.
Then. Ta-ra.
Ta-ta.